In a tiny, sun-baked village forgotten by time, lived a pair of twins, Leo and Mia, with their mother. Their world was small, but their love for each other was boundless. One sweltering afternoon, that love was put to the ultimate test. Their mother, who was their entire world, fell gravely ill. Her breaths grew shallow, her skin pale, and the village healer shook his head, muttering about expensive medicine they couldn't possibly afford. Desperation gnawed at the children's hearts. They had nothing of value, nothing at all, except for one shared treasure, a worn-out pair of slippers. It was their only pair, a gift from their mother on their last birthday, patched and restitched a dozen times. It was all they had. With tears glistening in their eyes, they made a silent pact. Their mother's life was worth more than anything. Holding hands tightly, they walked to the bustling village market. The slippers felt heavy in their hands, each scuff mark a memory. Slippers for sale. Leo's small voice trembled, barely a whisper above the market's chaos. Mia stood beside him, her eyes pleading with the passers-by. People glanced, some with pity, others with indifference. An old pair of slippers? What good were they? The children's hope began to fade with the setting sun. Just as they were about to give up, an elderly woman stopped. She saw not the worn leather, but the raw desperation in their eyes. She gave them a few coins, not enough for the medicine, but enough to ignite a flicker of hope. With the meager coins clutched in their hands, they knew it wasn't enough. The medicine was still far beyond their reach. Their hearts sank, but they refused to surrender. Barefoot now, the scorching cobblestones seared the soles of their feet, but the pain was nothing compared to the fear of losing their mother. They decided to go from door to door, offering to do any chore, any work, for just a few more coins. They swept dusty yards, carried heavy buckets of water, and weeded gardens under the unforgiving sun. Each step was a testament to their unwavering love. Their small, blistered feet painted a heartbreaking picture of devotion that didn't go unnoticed. The villagers, many of whom were struggling themselves, watched the Barefoot twins with a mix of awe and sorrow. Unbeknownst to Leo and Mia, a man in a simple car had been observing them from a distance. He was a wealthy businessman, merely passing through the village on his way to a lavish resort. He had initially been annoyed by the poverty he saw, but something about the twins' relentless determination captivated him. He saw them sell their only slippers, and then he watched them work tirelessly, their small bodies straining with effort, their bare feet raw and red. He saw them get turned away from doors, yet they never stopped. Curiosity turned into a deep, stirring empathy. Who were these children, and what fueled their incredible spirit? He decided to follow them, his business meeting forgotten. He needed to understand the story behind their sacrifice. He followed them all the way back to their humble hut on the edge of the village. Peeking through a crack in the door, he saw a scene that shattered his heart. The twins were kneeling by their mother's bedside, gently placing the few coins they had earned into her hand. "We'll get more tomorrow, Mama," Mia whispered, her voice thick with unshed tears. "You just need to hold on." Leo nodded, trying to be strong, but a tear escaped and traced a path through the dust on his cheek. The businessman saw their mother, frail and fading, and finally understood. It wasn't just poverty. It was a race against time, fueled by the purest form of love a child can have. The sight of their courage, their selflessness, moved him to tears. This wasn't just a story. It was a profound lesson in humanity. Without a second thought, the man sprang into action. He rushed to the village healer, then used his phone to call the best doctors from the city. "Spare no expense," he commanded, his voice firm and unwavering. "I will cover everything." Within the hour, an ambulance, a sight rarely seen in the village, arrived. The doctors worked tirelessly through the night, administering treatments and monitoring the mother's fragile condition. The man stood watch outside, his heart pounding with a mix of anxiety and hope. He saw the twins huddled together in a corner, their eyes wide with fear and confusion, praying with all their might. He had intervened as a stranger, But now he felt a deep personal connection to this family's fate. He realized in that moment that all his wealth meant nothing if it couldn't be used to save a life, to answer a child's prayer. Days turned into a week. Under the constant care of the medical team, the twins' mother began a slow but steady recovery. The color returned to her cheeks, and her breathing eased. When she finally opened her eyes, she saw her children sleeping by her side, their hands still clasped together. She was unaware of the miracle that had unfolded, believing the village had simply come together to help. When the local healer gently explained what her children had done, how they sold their only slippers and walked barefoot for miles to save her, her heart swelled with an emotion too powerful for words. Tears of gratitude, pride, and overwhelming love streamed down her face. Her children's small act of sacrifice had moved a mountain. Her recovery wasn't just medical, it was a rebirth of faith and hope in the goodness of the world. A few days later, the businessman returned. The family greeted him with tearful gratitude, but he waved it off with a warm smile. "Your children taught me a lesson I will never forget," he said softly. But he hadn't just come to check on them. He had a surprise. He led them to a newly built, modest but sturdy house just a short walk away. It was fully furnished, with a small garden out back. "This is your new home," he announced. But that wasn't all. He had also set up a trust fund to ensure Leo and Mia would receive a full education, from the best schools in the region to any university they chose. And to ensure their mother would never have to worry again, he helped her start a small, manageable textile business from home, providing her with a stable, dignified income. The twins' story, a simple act of love born from desperation, became a legend in the village and beyond. The businessman, moved by his experience, shared the story anonymously on social media. He didn't want praise. He wanted to share the lesson the children had taught him. The story went viral, touching the hearts of millions around the globe. It became a powerful reminder that compassion is not about how much you give, but how much love you put into giving. People from all walks of life were inspired to perform their own acts of kindness, creating a ripple effect of goodness that started with 2 children and a pair of old slippers. What began as a moment of pure despair, a story of poverty and impending loss, had transformed into a powerful testimony. It showed the world that true wealth isn't measured in money, but in love, courage, and the willingness to sacrifice for others. Leo and Mia didn't just save their mother. They reminded a world often lost in its own pursuits that the smallest act of love has the power to move hearts, inspire kindness, and change destinies forever. Their journey proves that even when you feel you have nothing left to give, love itself is the most powerful gift of all. Thank you so much for watching and being a part of this incredible story. If it touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more inspiring content. Until next time, remember to look for the love and kindness all around you.